Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is good.
Warrior! What are the flowers for?
For a girl.
Have you ever wondered what happened to Conan the Barbarian after all these years? We all know Arnold Schwarzenegger rocked the role back in the 80s, slaying his way through enemies with that iconic sword of his. But what about now? What's the deal with The Legend of Conan? Will there be a third movie? While fans have been craving for the movie, it seems like we might have some tea to spill. Well, for those of you who don't know, back in the 1980s, Schwarzenegger ruled the big screen as Conan the Barbarian thanks to Robert E. Howard's epic stories. Conan the Barbarian was a smash hit. Then he swung right back into action with Conan the Destroyer, and even spun off into Red Sonja. You see, it was a fresh breath of air, and people have never experienced a powerful character development and storyline before in Hollywood swirl. That got The Legend of Conan the hype people least expected. Well, it still has got the hype, to be frank. After all that success, Arnie was all set to return as Conan in Conan the Conqueror back in '87, but alas, it vanished faster than Conan's enemies after a swing of his sword. Fast forward to 2011, and we got a remake with Jason Momoa taking up the sword, but let's be real, it didn't quite hit the mark. Arnie himself dropped the bombshell that he's ready to do Conan's loincloth once more for The Legend of Conan. However, it's been more mysterious than Crom's intentions up to this point. First things first, the copyright issues. Yeah, turns out those legal dragons are causing quite the delay in bringing our favorite barbarian back to life. Schwarzenegger explained that producer Fredrik Malmberg, who's been holding on to their rights like a treasure, is the main culprit here. For a whopping decade, we've been twiddling our thumbs because Malmberg still holds the key to the kingdom. As Arnie put it, until he sells the rights, there's nothing you can do about it. Arnie also spilled the beans that Malmberg might have struck a deal with Netflix for a Conan project. Exciting, right? Wrong. Netflix threw a curveball and denied any such deal, leaving us wondering whether this movie is ever going to see the limelight as it deserves. Arnie dropped the bombshell that John Milius, the mastermind behind the original Conan the Barbarian screenplay, has already wielded his mighty pen once more for The Legend of Conan. But let's rewind the sands of time to October 2012, shall we? That's when Universal Pictures started dropping hints about bringing back our beloved Arnie for a third installment, tentatively titled The Legend of Conan. Fast forward to 2014, and IGN spilled some juicy details. Chris Morgan, Will Biel, and Andrea Berloff were busy bees crafting a screenplay fit for our barbarian king, with plans to bring Schwarzenegger back to reprise his iconic role. Rumor has it that back in early 2013, Arnie himself had his eyes set on Peter Jackson's legendary studio in New Zealand as a potential shooting location. Well, it looks like Universal decided to pull the plug on our hopes and dreams back in 2017, and boom, people had their hopes shattered. Chris Morgan, the mastermind behind the screenplay, was clearly bummed out by the news. He hinted that budget issues and doubts about the project's relevance in the market might have led to Universal's decision. And just when we thought all hope was lost, a ray of sunshine broke through the clouds in the form of a tweet from journalist Eric Davis in 2017. Schwarzenegger himself hinted that Conan 3 might be in the cards. Unofficial confirmation? You betcha. Let's hope this works out regardless. No more updates, no more whispers in the wind, until Arnold Schwarzenegger himself dropped the bombshell in 2023 that the fate of Conan 3 lies solely in the hands of our elusive friend Malmberg. Not only do we have the return of Schwarzenegger as our fearless barbarian, but we're also tantalized by the possibility of bringing back some familiar faces from the past. Now, we know what you're thinking. How can we possibly resurrect characters who met their demise in the earlier films? Well, fear not, for when there's a will, there's a way. Take James Earl Jones's enigmatic antagonist, Thulsa Doom, for example. Yes, he may have met a rather final end in the first movie, but who's to say we can't conjure him back in a flashback or a hallucinatory sequence? Imagine the chills running down our spines as we witness his return, even if just for a fleeting moment. This is something every fan has been dreaming about for years. And speaking of returning warriors, let's not forget the fierce and formidable Zula, portrayed by none other than the incomparable Grace Jones. Now, wouldn't it be a sight to behold if Jones were to break her acting sabbatical and reprise her role alongside Schwarzenegger once more? Or else, let's hope the new cast would actually do justice to the original creation. Ah, dear adventurers, it seems we're in for a different kind of Conan tale with The Legend of Conan. Picture this, instead of the usual hack and slash extravaganza, we're venturing into deeper, more introspective territory, much like Clint Eastwood's masterpiece Unforgiven. Now, if that doesn't pique your curiosity, we don't know what will. You see, back in the early 2010s, when Universal was chomping at the bit to bring Conan back to the big screen, they had a vision of a wiser, more weathered Conan, reminiscent of Eastwood's portrayal of an aging cowboy grappling with the morality of violence. It's a far cry from the youthful heroics we're used to, but oh, how intriguing. Just like Eastwood shed his image as the quintessential hero in westerns with Unforgiven, The Legend of Conan promises to give us a glimpse of our beloved barbarian well past his prime, reflecting on the violent decades that have shaped him, and it seems every actor has still got it even after years. And let's not forget the words of Chris Morgan himself, the man who was once attached to the project. He had a vision for Schwarzenegger to play his age, a sentiment that speaks volumes about the direction The Legend of Conan aims to take. Gone are the days of youthful invincibility. Now we're witnessing a hero confronting his mortality, his regrets, and his legacy. Whom do we blame? With the revelation that John Milius himself has crafted a screenplay for our beloved barbarians' next adventure, the possibilities are endless and the excitement is palpable. But what direction will this sequel take? That's where the speculation comes into play. Well, what do we have here? You see, there's a delicate balance to be struck here. On one hand, there's the temptation to embrace the campiness and violence that made the original film such beloved classics. After all, who doesn't love a good dose of nostalgic mayhem? But on the other hand, there's the opportunity to elevate the sequel beyond its predecessors by staying true to the source material. That's the least they could do, to be fair. Let's face it, despite being set in the fantastical world of the Hyborian Age, previous Conan movies have struggled to faithfully adapt Robert E. Howard's original stories. It's a challenge as daunting as a Dragon Slayer, but one that must be overcome if Conan the Barbarian 3 is to truly stand out. So, how do we bridge the gap between the grandeur of the 80s movies and the rich legacy of Howard's literature? Well, it's all about finding that delicate balance. We can pay homage to the spirit of the originals while also delving deeper into the intricate tapestry of Howard's world. It's a tall order, to be sure, but one that's not beyond our grasp. With millions at the helm and Schwarzenegger wielding his mighty sword once more, there's hope yet for Conan the Barbarian 3 to rise above its predecessors and forge a new legacy of its own. So, let us embrace the uncertainty, for in the unknown lies the potential for greatness. However, there are also rumors that Legend of Conan must not be happening at all. The unwillingness to sell the character rights is one such reason it might not see the light. Even though such skepticism follows the series, it still hasn't stopped making the fans' hearts race stop. And it seems like the next movie will maintain itself as a legend. Did you know that several scripts were in fact created in hopes of creating the next one? However, it didn't work out. What's interesting is Arnold showing his interest to play the role didn't even help to get the necessary people to move on with this highly buzzed movie. So, do you think Legend of Conan will return? Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to watch such entertainment news updates. Until next time, see you all.